Good morning, everyone. I am Jan Mark and Mugongong, and I am instructed to report the constructing objective and non-objective supply types of items. This is a continuation topic of Chapter 8, constructing and selecting test items and tasks. So here are the contents of our topic for today: the objective supply types and the non-objective supply types. So let's begin. So under the objective supply types contains completion type and short answered items. The item types falling under supply type require the learners to construct a response to a question or directive. The subtypes differ in the terms of structure of the responses needed to answer the term. The table below illustrates the item structure of completion type. This is an item consists of a stimulus which defines question or problem, a response which defines what is to be provided or constructed by the learner. For a completion item, an incomplete statement with blank is often used as stimulus, and response is constructed word, symbol, numeral, or phrase to complete the statement. For example, here a fill-in-the-blank questions, and a student is expected to answer a single word or phrase, numeral, symbol. Here are also example of the objective supply types under completion type. The expected response for a four-sided polygon is called a quadrilateral. Example 2. Expected response for the novel No Limit Hungary that written by Dr. Rizal during the colonial period is Spanish. Example 3. Expected response for a book trader sells books 30% more than what he pays for them. For books sold for pesos, 150 pesos, his profits is 45 pesos. And there should be only one correct response to complete a statement. As I've said, it is an objective supply type. This contributes to efficiency in scoring since a key to correction can easily be prepared in advance when there's only one expected response. Proper wording of the incomplete statement must be carefully done to avoid having more than one correct answer. Exception for this rule is if you are testing for verbal creativity or giving diverse but acceptable response is desirable. This, however, should be explicitly mentioned in the test instructions. Number 2. The blank should be placed at the end or towards the end of the incomplete statement. So this will provide the reader appropriate and adequate context before she gets to answer the blank and consequently avoids being perplexed. And lastly, avoid providing unintended clues to the correct answer. The validity of a student's score is jeopardized when she answers correctly an item without really knowing what the correct response is. So, under the objective supply types contains short answer items. So instead of supplying words complete statements, relatively short answers are constructed as direct answer to questions. So the table below illustrates the sample items that are given to the statements. So, example, stimulus, an integrative statement or a directive questions. So the response is also directive but not a single word. Should be phrases or a statement. A short phrases or statement. So this table shows the example of short answered items. First table contains question: what is a four-sided polygon called? The expected response is of course quadrilateral. Table 2. During what period was No Limit Hungary written by Dr. Rizal? Expected response, of course, Spanish. And lastly, how much does a book trader gain for a book he sells for 150 pesos if he gets 30% more? Expected response, of course, 45. So let's move on to the non-objective supply types. The type contain easy type. Easy type likewise belongs to the supply category since the required response is to be fully constructed of the students. However, unlike the question and short answer items, which are highly structured to elicit only one short correct answer, easy items are less constructed to allow the students to organize freely the response using their own writing style to writing the question. The table shows the example of constructing an easy type. So stimulus should be an incomplete statement with a blank. So the student is expected to respond to directive or instructions, set of statements, discourse, or paragraphs. Illustrative item number 1. What is famous tourism spot in the island of Luzon, and why is it popular? As you can see, it has additional question. It started with why. And response must be on a paragraph style or a sentence style. Additional example questions below. You can read it if you want. Here are the suggestions for construction essay questions. First, restrict the use of essay questions to those learning outcomes that cannot be measured satisfactorily by objective items. Number 2, construct questions that will cause the skills specified in the learning standards. Number 3, phrase the questions so that the student's task is clearly defined. Number 4, indicate an approximate time limit for each questions. And lastly, avoid the use of optional questions. Essay among these types is quite frequently used because of the seeming ease in construction, the least preferred when it comes to scoring. Its reliability is challenged since the subjective scoring may be affected by such irrelevant factors as corrector's mood and also bias. Students' penmanship, learn of response, and even time of day for scoring. And I have also provided a rubric for scoring. This is just an example. And also you can use it in the future. And I guess that's all. Thank you everyone for listening. This is once again John Mac and Lugonggong, Busy at the Field 2, signing out. And I hope you learned a lot about today's topic. Once again, goodbye. Thank you.